there.
Dan, they have hoisted her car with the helicopter.
Okay, she's not what I would call happy.
Uh-oh.
She does not like this at all, apparently.
Well, it's being moved. I mean, Sharon wanted the car moved. The car's being moved.
She's telling me she wants her car on the ground. So
she wants the car on the ground.
You've got the air boss up there.
Yeah, let me get a hold of Rick. Rick Hart, Major Rick Hart, our air boss. Are you in radio contact with the Griffon?
No, she wants that car on the ground like now.
Rick, you got to call him. Tell him put it on the ground now.
Well, wait a minute. I'm just thinking though, Larry. These guys are very literal, and you know, when they're giving orders and stuff.
She wants it on the ground now. We're going to put it on the ground now.
They're heading towards the ocean, Larry.
Uh-oh. Maybe you better come back here before you put it on the ground.
Yeah, tell Ricky Hart.
Rick, call him and tell him don't put it on the ground right now, because we think they're over the. Oh, that's good. I think he's told them they're heading back.
Yeah, okay, they're coming back.
Okay, that's good.
Tell them to take it to the parking lot. And where was it exactly they wanted it moved? I mean,
they just needed it moved from where it was. Now, I'm not sure there's a parking lot out where they are, but well, we told them to put it on the ground and put it on the ground now.
Okay,
Sharon wants her car.
She's hopping mad here. You should see her.
You don't want to make the FAA hopping mad.
No, she's like, get it on the ground.
Okay. Oh, no. Oh, that's an ugly sight. Sharon, it's on the ground.
Wow. We're in serious trouble now.
Dan, I'm glad you're down there and I'm up here. Uh-oh.
Well, she said she wanted a compact car.
Did she want to take it home in the trunk of another car? We can do that.
Things that make you go, actually, that was staged. That wasn't really Sharon's car. We were just playing with her, but it looked a lot like her car.
But it's a mess now, regardless of whose it used to be. It is the CH-146 Griffon. It's used for all kinds of things, as Dan had told you. Even medevac was even used in Kosovo. And here it comes by in a high-speed pass, accelerating along. The Bell CH-146 Griffon of Canadian Forces. Colonel Darrell Shayak at the controls. Is that right, Dan?
That's correct. He's flying it here today. Colonel Darrell Shayak, former team leader of the Snowbirds, now the commandant of the helicopter school in Portage la Prairie, Manitoba, where we did an air show, I'm not too sure, 3 or 4 weeks ago. And we're very happy to have members of the Rhode Island National Guard bring the J model up to Canada and display it. And as a matter of fact, Canada is plans to purchase, I believe, 35 of the J models to add to our fleet of H models, which I think they're going to be retiring off as we get the Js.
And I believe Canadian Air Force is picking up the C-17, newest jet transport in the service.
That is also correct. We're purchasing, although not as many as you guys, we're getting 4 of the C-17, similar to our friends from Australia, and we'll be using those in support of our war effort in Afghanistan.
The workhorse of number 1 wing, the CH-146 Griffon, an integral part of humanitarian relief operations at home and abroad, including, as we mentioned, service in Kosovo.
Now, we do have other paint schemes on the Griffon. This one painted the tactical scheme. There is also a yellow, and primarily yellow with black and red striping on it, is used for search and rescue. And then we also have the ones that are painted all white that we use in service with the United Nations.
It's powered by a single jet engine.
Actually, it's powered by 2 jet engines. It's got
this is the Super Huey.
Pratt and Whitney in it.
Yeah. Now you mentioned it was similar to the Huey used in American service, which had 1 jet engine on board. This one with 2.
Yeah, this is actually a militarized version of the civilian 412. It's a four-bladed propeller that's on top of the aircraft, or rotor. My helicopter friends will be giving me a hard time about that. But it's a lot quieter than the older Huey, and very versatile aircraft.
flying the helicopter backwards.
And you can see Corporal Crickmore looking out the observer's station back there. He would be the hoist operator. All of the Griffon aircraft are equipped with a rescue hoist, so they can pick up downed airmen or do search and rescue off of ships and that sort of thing.
Or geometros.
Or geometros.
Properly.
Actually, there's a very large carrying hook underneath the aircraft that would be used for moving geometros, or cannons, or jeeps, or what have you.
Getting a great ride as they were flying backwards down the runway, made a nice 180-degree turn, and they're going to be coming by now. We'll listen to see if they're going to crank it up a little bit and come by on a high-speed pass. Right on cue. That's the kind of stuff you can do with that rotor that you were talking about. Nice max performance climb.
Little formation with a seagull there.
A B-1RD, I believe, is the designation of that other aircraft that's in formation, now separating wisely. Jonathan, I try to tell you, stay away from these things.
But it is indeed a pleasure for the Canadian military to be able to send an aircraft down here. Of course, our military not that large up in Canada, but we currently have a government that is spending some money and buying us some new equipment, and we do appreciate the support that we get from the United States, and particularly from the 143rd right here in Rhode Island.
The CH-146 Griffon, Canada's utility transport tactical helicopter, putting on a demonstration of its maneuverability and power for you. Now we'll see if he can give us a demonstration of some of the maneuvering capabilities of the Griffon. There we go. He's in a left-hand turn, taking a look at the horizon as he continues to fly backwards down the runway. Now, there's a lot of controls being moved at the same time in that cockpit to keep it rotating around to the left and moving down the runway.
After doing a series of pedal turns, you can see he's just lifting straight up, doing the old elevator straight up lift. This is very handy when getting out of confined areas, such as downtown areas, urban, when doing search and rescue and medevacs.
And with twin engines on board, he can probably continue that climb way out of what they call ground effect, or as the rotor behaves differently close to the ground, on up to probably several thousand feet, but he's breaking it off there at about 2,000 feet and flying straight away out of that vertical climb. Normal crew is 2 pilots, 1 flight engineer, as Dan identified the folks for you. Can carry up to 10 passengers in that big cabin. Very maneuverable machine. We should keep them around for our combined arms demonstration that's going to be coming up in just a little bit. One of the most popular events at the Rhode Island National Guard Open House and Air Show. Now he's accelerating along at a high-speed pass. Capable of speeds nearly 160 miles an hour.